don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because I'll tell you this right now. The Jews are trying to put out fires everywhere in the world. They are in neck deep. They are putting out fires so many places that they cannot keep track of everything. They're at the brink of losing. It's almost like they're down for the count. They're going through 1 through 10 in the boxing ring, and they're almost down, and we're just letting them stand back up. We're sitting back, we're sitting on our hands going, oh, we've let this guy stand back up and regain his No. I mean, go for it now.
This is our opportunity. The time is now. I mean, you have to look at it like this, too. The age of information, it's been a great tool for them, but it could also be the greatest tool against them. I have this slogan that I think I came up with. I never heard anyone say it prior. I really don't care, but I'm just making a point here. 110 and never again. They've been expelled 109 times. We need to educate people so thoroughly that when we rid ourselves of this eternal problem, that we never allow it to happen again in the future, generations to come. Of course, I'm getting ahead of myself there, but the point is the age of information now, we have the ability to get that information out, and too many of us are sitting on our hands. We're waiting for other people to take care of this for us. We're waiting for a miracle, whatever it may be. And, hey, this is the opportunity. The time is now. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any easier. They are doing everything they can. They're frantically trying to come up with ways to shut us down, not just hacking our sites and stuff like that, but with these laws where they can just, systematically wipe it all out. So time is limited, and I don't see people making the most of it, and that's what upsets me. If people were doing everything that they could, and again, every man has to answer to himself. You look yourself in the mirror, and if you know you're doing everything, then rest easy at night. This doesn't apply to you. But if you're coming up short, if you're holding back on any level, well, then you know what? You're going to get what you deserve ultimately. You shouldn't be surprised. You and I might have a reason to be surprised or upset when things don't go right because we're doing everything that we can, but these people don't have any right. They have no reason to expect any positive change. These are the same people who would be the most shocked by it when it all goes wrong as well. So we need to take advantage of this opportunity, absolutely.
Exactly. It's just, look at me and you, just two average Joes, that, came from different parts of the country, and look at how many people out there. I'm not trying to go at each other's horns here, but honestly, look at how many people out there have learned a ton from just what we've done in the last couple of years. We've multiplied, a forced multiplication, and I'm going to take that term back from somebody that tried to coin that for themselves, but it's been a forced multiplication between people like you and I and a lot of others out there that are doing things like you said.
And we've done it alone. I mean, you've done your thing, I've done my thing. We should work together more often, there's no doubt about it. But I didn't take any classes on how to speak. I didn't take any classes how to put videos together. I had no prior training, and I didn't have prior knowledge. I started sharing things with people as I learned, and I still do that to this very day. I'm not an expert. I'm not in a position of leadership. Anything that anyone that listens to me does so of their own free will, of course. And, hey, I'm here to lead by example, most importantly. But the fact of the matter is, I had no special training. You had no special training. It is simply an A+ for effort, and that's all I ask from anyone else. So that's all I can ever hold any man accountable to is his effort. He's got to just put forth that effort, especially once he recognizes the problem.
Absolutely. We got about 7 minutes left to the end of the show here for this for Prothink Radio today with Mike Delaney and Scott Roberts. Scott, why don't you give us a breakdown? A pretty short breakdown here. How long you've been on the scene, the videos and the crap you went through on YouTube, and then work your way onto the website you have and how people could join. And obviously we've nailed the activism thing down. Get out in the streets, get flyers out, DVDs or whatever you can. But go ahead and give a breakdown to people where they can find you and your website and such.
Well, my website is theforbiddentruth.net. Again, I've been around for just a few years. I've just been sharing things as I've come to know it myself. I came across you early on, back in early 2008. 2007 is when I started making videos, but back then it was all about race. I was just talking about the racial dynamics between blacks and whites. I wasn't the least bit Jew-wise. I thought Jews were just greedy people, and that was about it. There really wasn't much to what I knew about them at that point in time. So I just started sharing things with people, And when I hit the whole kosher conspiracy, and this could obviously be a show in and of itself, the kosher tax, what people would refer to as the kosher tax, when I started basically sharing videos showing that it's more than just a tax, that they are in fact poisoning or there's toxic ingredients in the non-kosher food. So, of course, I would reasonably conclude from that they are the ones that are poisoning the food, that they're the ones that are putting these toxic ingredients there. It's a kosher symbol, obviously. It's not some other type of symbol that represents some other group of people. It's kosher for Jewish people. And that's what started getting me censored more than anything else. There's other people who were saying things that I was also saying, but that was the main thing that led to me being, as they called me, the most censored man on the Internet, on YouTube, and then it became the Internet. So that's basically how things have gone. I'm just some guy, as I've always been, just a normal, average Joe who's taking things that are going on in the world and interpreting them and breaking them down, and at least I feel that's my gift, if I have any gift to offer, is to put the pieces of the puzzle together and break it down into a very simple form where the average person can follow along with it. And of course, there's been people from both sides that have attacked me along the way. As you mentioned earlier, people are going to say, well, that's not the best way to do it, and there's always going to be anonymous critics, of course. But the most telling thing, and this relates to the whole Stormfront thing, the most telling thing that I've noticed recently is the fact that my focus shifted from talking about Jews and only Jews and not speaking of really too much about racial issues. I've always thrown that in there, but it wasn't my primary focus. It was more of yes, I'm a white guy, I'm speaking from a white perspective, but here's the Gentile perspective. Overall, that was my general approach. I started shifting not too long ago to speaking specifically to white nationalists and white nationalists alone. I went from being the biggest racist on the Internet, as they would always call me, oh, Scott's a racist, make videos mocking me and stuff like that, excuse me, to suddenly now they're claiming I'm a race traitor. So everything shifted from being a racist to a race traitor. However, what they don't realize when they make these videos, I actually share these videos myself because I've disclosed all my personal information from day one. There's nothing they can say about me that I haven't already said about myself. And I did that for a reason. I knew in advance that they always attack the messengers. That's always what people do when they fail to argue your points.
Yeah, because you're having an effect.
Right. So fortunately I did that, but it's very telling. It's very telling that at this point in time, and this isn't to toot my own horn, but they must see something, some type of a real threat for them to go and change everything around. For years, calling me a racist and all, the typical Nazi and all that stuff. Now, all of a sudden, making spoof videos, sharing pictures that I've shared, and of course they fill in with pictures of people that I don't even know. They just do that to make it appear worse than it was if someone is going to qualify it as being a bad thing. But in the end, as I've said before, white nationalists, they don't have to like me. I'm not trying to run for any political office. I'm not trying to lead any movement. I'm just some guy speaking, and I want to get more people to realize these things, as many people to realize these things as I possibly can. White nationalists generally already know the truth. Not all of it, but they know a lot of it. I'm looking out to speak to the average person, the average white person, as a matter of fact. So, hey, if they want to make a video calling me a racist, calling me a race traitor, then I will use that to take down the defensive wall that the average white person has been programmed to have. And I wrote a little something to go over that, but we're running out of time here, so maybe I'll save it for next time. I thought we were going to go 2 hours, and we didn't really have a guideline of what we were going to speak about. I did write some things up, but like I said, I can save it for another time.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought you were only good for an hour. We could go for 2 if you want. Or
there's one little thing I wrote here. There's one little thing I wrote here earlier that, like I said, I can put in my pocket or I can read it right now. It's related to the things we were talking about. Sure, yeah, go ahead. All right, and this was related to me and the attacks, and I really didn't want to get into that too much. But the people, I'm just going to read my own words here. These people are just looking to discredit the work I have done. I don't take any of it personally. It's not even about me. It never has been, and not once has it come from someone I know to be white. So essentially, if you, Mike Delaney, stood up and criticized me or questioned my past or whatever it may be, then I'll take